Hi everyone, it's The Breath here, and this is a quick, informal little chat. I owe you all an explanation for my absence and the fact that, yet again, I said I'd start something and ended up having to can the idea midway through, and a quick glimpse into my and the channel's 2023 future. I'm going to keep this brief, sharp, and to the point, because we all got places to be. For those of you that have followed the channel for some time, and especially those who have tuned into my numerous live streams, you may recall that I was at university studying law and trying to juggle some really quite sensitive family drama. Well, I'm pleased to say that in September of 2022, I graduated with honours and shortly afterwards picked myself up a full-time job. This has somewhat contributed to my availability and moreover my ability to record and edit videos. And while I won't share the really personal details, it basically boils down to the fact that I now have a nearly 2-year-old living in the house with me. Don't worry, I've not had a kid of my own and kept it from you all, but he is there with us nonetheless. Any of you out there with children, whether they be your own, siblings, be cousins, nieces, nephews, whatever, you'll know how active and disruptive they can be, and it's really limited the amount of time that I can do this. I've also had what can only be described as a litany of health issues. Again, those who have followed for a while will be aware that I've had COVID more times than you can count on one hand, and I've also had a rather elongated period of continuous illness. These haven't been your average colds and coughs and splutters, but nigh continuous 40-degree temperatures. That's 104 Fahrenheit or thereabouts for anyone that uses that metric. It genuinely seemed that the last maybe 6 to 8 months I've had periods of 2 weeks maximum between sicknesses. The last one was by far the worst and I ended up going to the doctors. For perspective, I hate going to the doctors and the hospital so much that it took me 5 days with a gaping open wound and dragging myself around on a broken knee to even go to the hospital to get an x-ray. Needless to say, I got called some choice names by the nurse on that one. But I went and I got sent for a barrage of tests. An x-ray turned into an MRI, into blood work, into all sorts of different samples and incredibly invasive and quite humbling procedures. At one point, I was actually told by a doctor that they were concerned that it could be cancer. Now, before anyone gets anything in their heads, I'm really very glad to announce that I do not have cancer. I had biopsies taken that ruled that out completely, and in terms of my health, I'm not dying. The biopsies actually showed them to be ulcers, and I have a few in some places that you really shouldn't have them. But they also diagnosed me with diabetes, which I'm now, thankfully, treating with the appropriate medication. It does mean I'm taking 4 tablets a day for the rest of my life, but I'd rather that than be sick all the time. And between the treatment for the ulcers and the diabetes, I'm feeling a lot better than I was, but I am taking it easy. I don't want to push myself for a weekly or fortnightly schedule and burn myself out because it turns out to be too much for me to be able to handle. I do absolutely want to get back to what I love though, and that is making content for you all. It isn't all doom and gloom, mind you. There are some really positive things happening in my life as well. Take today, this afternoon for instance, I have just been informed that I passed my selection interview, and that means I will begin my training as a barrister in September of this year, which is massive news for me. For my American viewers, for barrister, think attorney. I will also be moving out in June. I don't know where yet. I know what city I'm in, but I don't know the house exactly. But packing everything up and getting it all sorted and going for viewings and whatnot, it's turned out to be such a bigger task than I expected it to be, in truth. So, for the most part, it's been bad stuff, sure, but looking forward personally, it's a really exciting time I've got ahead. That said, yeah, most of the things I've previously mentioned have kept me away from making videos, so let's look to what I can do and what will happen going forwards. It'll be no surprise to anyone, but I am afraid to say that the Skyrim 11-11-11 series is dead in the water. I actually got really quite sick while I was making the Arniel Gain video, but I desperately wanted to push through just to get it out, and I'm proud of it. It's up there, you can watch it. It's very different to what I normally do, but it will be a standalone video. I can't give the ideas that I have for that series and for that game a proper and fair chance. Right now, they're just too taxing a task for me. I do have the list saved, though, of all the ideas, so maybe at some point, if people want me to, I could consider bringing one or two of them out, sort of ad hoc as and when. But right now, I'm completely canning the Skyrim thing, and I'm focusing on what I can do, and that is Pokemon games. There will be some changes. I'm going to get rid of the background that I've had, and I'm going to focus on taking the channel back to basics. I've got a ton of great ideas swimming in my head for content and challenges and just ideas in general, but I will be the first to admit that I've strayed from the path. I'll be creating some videos in my spare time. I'll be having them uploaded as filler content, if you will, just to be released as and when. Maybe if I can't get a video out in time, they'll be there to fill the void, kind of thing. But primarily, I want to bring the content back to you all, the viewers. I want to make the content that you want to see, do the challenges you want me to try, make the videos you want me to make. But I do have limitations. I'm not great with technology, I can't lie about that. I have next to no idea what I'm doing in a lot of regards. I can make content for generations 1 through to generation 4 with the emulators that I have and know how to work. Technically I could do Gen 5, but I hate those games, and really I have no fun or desire to play them. Fortunately, there are a lot of ROM hacks that exist within these generations, and I'm not restricted to the base games. I also want to bring back the viewer suggested videos and naming schemes as and when. I love giving shoutouts to you guys, and you seem to really love getting them. For me, in this next phase of the channel, interaction is key. This is going to be a project for all of us, done in some part by all of us. I'm going to do polls, I'm going to do the comment challenges, I'm going to go through the Discord suggestions. Predominantly, the Pokemon Challenge running community is your community, and I want to make it less about me, as it has been for the last 18 months or so, and make it about you again. So how often will videos be made? I can't say for sure. I'm going to tentatively say monthly uploads, which I know is a lot of time in between, but I've got a whole backlog on the channel. There's videos of various quality over the years, but there's stuff to watch, and there will be new stuff added as a drip, but I can't guarantee the exact timescale. I'm aiming for a monthly. There may be more, there may be less, but I'm going to try and hit consistency with once a month. I'm actually working on one right now. It's a fun one to play, a little bit challenging in parts, which is what we like, but it should be a good introduction for all of us back into the world of content creation. So there we have it. I've been quite the specimen the last few months, and the channel suffered as a result. You have all suffered as a result. For that, I just cannot apologise enough. Hopefully though, with these new aims in mind, we'll get the channel back to producing content that you can enjoy, even if it is a lot less frequent than I or anyone else would ideally like it to be. Right, thank you all so much for watching, for listening, and for those of you that do, for caring. Thank you all for your patience with me and the channel and just all of the above. I hope you can really understand that with everything that's gone on, it's not been fun for anyone. But fingers crossed, things are smoother now, and I'm not one for ceremonious exits. I'm going to end it now. I look forward to seeing all of you, and hopefully some more, in the next one.